This is my 60s pig version. Now, a lot of the boards at this time around 1967, just before the shortboard revolution happened, this was the pig shape that was pretty well current. I've kept it as true to the pigs were in those days, and as you can see, it's got the big white hip. Now, it's got a 17-inch tail and a 17.25-inch nose, whereas the 50s pig has an 18-inch tail and a 16.75-inch nose, so they toned it down a little bit more. Now, we'll just look at the foil. As you can see, it's got the heavy V here. We'll look at that with the template in a moment. But the rail is a 50-50 rail, very roll bottom, no concave in the nose. They didn't have, a lot of them didn't have concave, but they still nose rode unreal. Now we'll look at the bottom shape. As you can see, it's just got roll all the way through the nose from the 1 foot mark. We come up and same thing again. It's just got the roll all the way through. It's like the bottom is just one continuous curve from side to side. We get to the middle and it's just increasing a little bit more. And as we get towards the tail, between the tail and the nose, that's where it's getting close to its deepest, but a bit of a V starts appearing here. And we get to the front of the fin, and as you can see here, it's quite a heavy V, okay, nearly 1.5 inches sort of thing, and behind the tail it just continues on. Okay, this is what enables the board to really lay on its rail, even though it's got such a wide tail. Now the other feature of the fin, it has an 11-inch, what we call a flex tip fin, so it's got a fair bit of flex in the tip of it. Very wide base, very raked back. I put the box in it only because if some people are travelling, you just can't do it with on a plane with a fin that's glassed in. It'll just snap out every time. So the convenience of travelling and trying different fins and moving the position a little bit, you've got 1 inch and a bit back and 1.5 inches further forward. And as you can see there, it's got the heavy V. And the rails aren't too pinched, but if you laid this down next to a board for a 1967, you'd be hard pressed, only of course the stickers and the fin box, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference. I've kept all the dynamics of the board exactly like the board from the late 60s. Now I'll just flip it over to show you the deck as well. Now with the glass and this, it's done in bowl end, the massive wide laps, and I've done the knee patch as well, okay, because a lot of the old boards had them in those days and they did knee paddle them. Now this one's got the little bridge here, just in case you want to put a leg wrap on if you're surfing in front of rocks and don't want your board trashed, which is, you know, I think a good idea, you know, to do that. Again, you can just feel the shape of those rails, they're just absolutely beautiful, not too pinched, okay? Now, the other feature of this one as well, it's quite expensive, it adds $200 to the price of the blank, and that's the foam stringers. Now what I've done here is a 6mm beige, and then 18mm yellow, 15mm grey, yellow, and then 6mm for black glue up. Many combinations. I didn't want to go too light. You can do it without the timber, but because Steve wanted it, you know, I've glassed it a little bit lighter in a sense because he wants it to perform quite well. Well, what we've done here is I've put the timber in just to make it a bit stronger, whereas you can have 3mm instead of the 6mm as well. You can just have a foam stringer, but they act more like a stringless and they can break and flex a bit. So, as I say, this one is the 60s pig. It's a board which you can get in many different combinations of tint job, colour. As I say, this one's just bowland, but if you want a board that surfs from that period, this is the one you'd get. Okay, so this one is the 60s pig.